What is up, boys and girls? This is the Logical Libertarian, and I'm actually recording by myself today. I don't have anybody as a guest, so if you want to be a guest, make sure to leave a comment down below, and I'm sure I can get you on here. All right, thank you. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a couple different things, the Black Lives Matter movement and feminism in general. This has been giving me such a huge headache lately because the way that everyone in the Black Lives Matter movement has been acting, and feminism, I mean, that's been just terrible forever now. So I want to start off with a couple articles that I've been reading. And we're going to start off with the first one that it was the Milo Mayhem. Activists stormed stage, threatened Milo at DePaul event. These were by two black people, a woman and a male. Milo Yiannopoulos event at DePaul University had to be cut short Tuesday night after protesters stormed the stage, blew whistles, grabbed the microphone out of the interviewer's hands, and threatened to punch Yiannopoulos in the face. This was by both of them, although with the girl it was much more prevalent because she was in his face screaming into the mic. But the guy, as soon as he got up there, threatened to punch Milo in the face as well. And they were whistleblowing throughout the whole entire thing. And the funny thing is, they got up on the stage, and Milo actually paid for security. He paid like $1,000 for security there, and they stood down and didn't do anything. Now, a lot of people here, they fault the security on this, but the security actually wanted to do something. The thing is, the administration told them not to take the Black Lives Matter protesters off the stage, even though they had already threatened in public Milo and threatened to hit him, but they would not take him off of this. They would not take them off the stage. They didn't want to engage in any kind of conversation with Mr. Milo Yiannopoulos. All they wanted was to get up there and suppress his right to free speech by yelling over him, taking the mic, blowing whistles and everything. And Milo turned it into like a hilarious thing where he was just making jokes about black men and having sex with them and things like that, because we all know he's gay. But it was just, it's really terrible that people who want to suppress other people's rights don't consider themselves black supremacists. They're trying to suppress the right to freedom of speech for Milo Yiannopoulos, for the Republicans at that college, at the event, at DePaul. And afterwards on Facebook, the president of DePaul actually came out with a statement defending Milo's right to free speech, but at the same time said that his views were it's hard to even freaking say that word, misogynistic. He was a misogynist, right? And that he has racist views, and that they agree with what the Black Lives Matter protesters were trying to do, but that they shouldn't silence his speech. Listen, if you thought that at the beginning, your entire faculty, your administration should have been telling those security guards to get them off the stage when they threatened him in the first place. And CPD showed up, and they were told not to arrest anybody there. They threatened him. They assaulted him. I really hope Milo sues. And they actually came out with an article right afterwards where the Republicans at DePaul and Milo both asked for their money back. I don't know if they're going to get their money back, but I really hope he sues. But this is the reality of the Black Lives Matter movement. It was started whenever a thug, Michael Brown, was shot. Okay, and everyone thought, oh, well, he's been unarmed. He was no threat to the officer. It turns out whenever they went into court, they found out that the officer had been punched several times. Hands up, don't shoot was a complete and utter lie. The kid never had his hands up, okay? The autopsy showed that his hands were not up. But whenever Darren Wilson went to the hospital, he even got a report showing his bruises, showing him bleeding, had pictures of it. The jury found him to be innocent. And it was also later released that the parents of Michael Brown, or at least some of the family, who knew exactly who were the witnesses for that, were leaving notes threatening people who might be witnesses in the Michael Brown case. Another thing comes out. They come out with the footage of him stealing cigars. He pushes the Asian owner over. Pushes him over. And this is some gentle soul here, Michael Brown. He never did nothing wrong. Nothing. Nothing at all. He's just a great guy. Then they come out with another thing, shows a picture of him, has a gun sideways, with money in his mouth, acting like some kind of a gangster, acting like a stupid thug. And that's the reality of Black Lives Matter. It's terrible. It's a terrible movement of inequality. They want black people to be better than every other person, to be better than Mexicans and whites and Asians and every single race. And what they don't even realize is that there is no policy that is inherently racist. There's no patriarchy that is against black people, the only reason they're not doing well is because they have a single motherhood rate of 70%. If they want to address that, they'll do a hell of a lot better. And also, if they stop aborting babies at such freaking high rates, I know white people do it too, but I'm just saying, if they want to fix the whole them being a minority, they should probably stop killing each other in Detroit, and they should probably stop aborting each other. And on Facebook, and Black Lives Matter protester posts up recently. It's a meme that says, Happy Memorial Day. And this is on Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to the black veterans. Yeah, singles them out, black veterans. Not happy Memorial Day to the white veterans, first off, let me tell you. Happy Memorial Day to the black veterans who served a country that has never fought for you. I'm like, the Civil fucking War? Oh, did you forget about the Civil War? Oh, and you shut up. You started Jim Crow after that? And I said, and then we had the Civil Rights Act. I'm like, we have fixed it. It's fine. There's no more institutional racism. There's no school that's racist. In fact, they have affirmative action, which, by the way, I'll get to, is actually racist towards blacks as well. But they have affirmative action now, which is supposed to make it to where they can get into Harvard and schools like this that they normally wouldn't be able to get into when they don't make good enough scores on their ACT. It's ridiculous. And they're still complaining as if there's something wrong, as if white people are inherently mistreating them. It's bull crap, folks. It's bull. It's not true at all. Oh, man. It's killing me. Anyway, as I was saying about the DePaul University, no black person has the right, no person at all has the right to suppress another person's views by sitting here and yelling over them, by whistleblowing over them. It's fucking ridiculous, folks. Ridiculous at its finest. And people, black supremacists who sit here and say, oh, well, America never fought for me on Memorial Day. Bullshit. You were fought for during the Civil fucking War. And you know what? It was mostly Republicans fighting for your ass to be free. Oh, well, the roles switch. That doesn't change the fundamental principle of it. Republicans have always been on the moral side of everything, of slavery, of Jim Crow, of abortion. Republicans are the moral party. And back to affirmative action, how it's racist. Okay? Whenever it comes to a white person, everyone knows how that's racist. Okay? If a white person goes to college 4 years, a black person goes to college 4 years, but the white person has 5 years experience, the black person is going to get hired over it to meet a quota. That's just the sad reality of it. Okay? The person who's more qualified should get the job, first off. And then how it's racist towards blacks is it's basically telling minorities, well, I don't really think you're good enough to get the job on your own, so we're going to have to help you out. How pathetic is that people are going to vote for somebody who is trying to give them a handout as if they don't want to work for it? That's racist to assume that black people don't want to work for it, to better themselves in order to get ahead in life. They don't need affirmative action. It's bullshit. It's racist, folks. I see we have two viewers. Hey guys, glad you're listening. You can find this video on YouTube afterwards if you want to comment on it. Just look up The Logical Libertarian. Okay. Now, on to the next article here today. 6 ways well-intentioned people white-splain racism and why they need to stop. Just by sitting here looking at the article, I can already tell how inherently racist and sexist this entire article is. It's ridiculously retarded. All right, so let's move on and start reading some of the article. If you're a woman, queer, trans, or gender non-conforming, it's probably not hard to imagine. Just think of one of these days when you've gotten too much unsolicited comments on your appearance, too many requests to smile, too many strangers who feel entitled to your space, time, and image. Okay, how fucking bad is it that people want you to smile? Smiling releases endorphins in your body that make you happy. Oh no, a guy wants you to be happy. Give me a fucking break. So you're venting to a friend when along comes a man to explain that these strangers were just trying to be nice to you and maybe you should learn to take a compliment. Yeah. If they're just complimenting you, learn to take a compliment. It's not like they're going, oh yeah, I'd fuck the shit out of you. They're not good. They're not doing that. They're just complimenting you, saying, hey, you look really pretty today. Is that so freaking bad? Like, holy shit, people. This isn't bad. They're just being nice. This is why you see so many dickish people nowadays, and women can't seem to find a good man. It's because you guys have turned them into assholes with your bullshit feminism. You'd probably be saying, yes, there's a good chance that you're saying, this shit happens to me all the time, and I wish it would stop. Oh, make the poor nice men stop being nice to me. And you might find comfort in knowing that, this, by the way, this is an actual feminist website, everydayfeminism.com. And you might find comfort in knowing that there's a word, mansplaining, to describe the common and frustrating occurrence of men interrupting and explaining things to women or people of other genders. Mansplaining. Tell me how that is not a sexist word. It's got the word man in it. You're singling out men as people who interrupt you or don't give a crap about your opinion. You know why they don't give a crap about your opinion? It's because it's bullshit. And it's not actually backed up by anything. We've heard it all before. You're just repeating all the fucking shit from your gender studies professor. We've heard it before. You haven't heard our side because you're fucking so caught up in the fucking la land of the world. You're not back into reality. I hate whenever feminists use the word reality. You're not in it. You're not in reality. Back to the article. And unfortunately, just as frequently, I've had white people try to explain racism to me, a woman of color. A woman of color. How is that not racist? Why can't I say a colored woman, but you can say a woman of color? It's the same word. Why is that not racist to say a woman of color? I don't get it. There's a word for this phenomenon too. White-splaining. Oh, so everything is majority-splaining. White people, men is in their majority. I don't see how women feel like they're a minority. Man is not a majority. You're just retarded. All right. You know, the suicide rate for men is like, I think 80% higher than women. So, 80% of suicides are men. So, get the fuck over it with your stressful life. It's incredibly frustrating to share my experiences with racism, only to have a white person try to speak to me about it, and often be belittling how racism hurts me. Did anyone ever remember the term, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? I mean, yeah, whenever I was a kid, I was made fun of for being short, and, I would cry and everything. Now looking back on it, why the fuck would that matter? Who gives a damn? There's a bunch of stupid people being mean to you. Wah! Life goes on, people. Move on. If you're white, you may have white-splained without realizing it. To understand white-splaining, now picture yourself in the following situation. I'm venting about my day, and I tell you I'm angry that a white neighbor told me, I don't even see you as black. What? It doesn't even make any sense. He's saying he doesn't see your color. He's saying he realizes that if I open up your skull, all there is in there is a brain. But in your case, there might not be one, so I don't really know about that. I can't speak for you. Would you reassure me that my neighbor meant well? If you do, don't be surprised if I'm just as annoyed as you would be if a man tried to explain your experience with street harassment to you. No, I wouldn't. Usually signs of white-splaining include a condescending tone, like what I'm taking right now, and a paternalistic assumption that a person of color doesn't know enough accurately articulate their own experience. Listen, we get your experiences. You feel like everything is racist even though it's not. There might be like a 1% of America that's racist. There's no such thing as institutional racism. That's what you feminists and fucking Black Lives Matter SJWs need to realize. No one gives a fuck about your race. They care about the content of your character. When the hell did Martin Luther King become irrelevant to your fucking cause? The term doesn't apply to every instance when a white person talks about racism, just like mansplaining doesn't apply to every instance when a man talks about gender oppression. But white-splaining is a result of the power white people hold. Power. We're elected into office. Are they talking about office? Because we're elected. And like 50% or more, I think more women actually vote than men. So the women are voting, not based on their fucking genitalia or their race. They're voting for the better person. So recognizing when it is happening is one of the everyday ways you can help dismantle the oppressive system of white supremacy. Yeah, this isn't the days of the KKK people. There's not white supremacy, all right? No people of power are fucking suppressing you. I can tell you who's suppressing people. People who are saying that you can't speak. Like the people of Black Lives Matter who were whistling over Milo Yiannopoulos just because they didn't like what he had to say. In fact, they probably don't even know what he has to say. They were probably pushed by their college professors to go and protest. I don't even think they probably know anything about the man. And that's the problem with white-splaining. It's not just harmless discussing racism, but implicitly acting on racist ideas that say that people of color are ignorant and wrong, even about their own experiences. I would never assume that if you're a person of color, that you're ignorant or wrong. I would assume by what you say, you're ignorant or wrong. Like what you're saying right now. All this bullshit is ignorant and wrong. You probably don't think you're motivated by racist ideas when you white-splain. Just like men don't have to hate women in order to participate in everyday sexism like mansplaining. How in the fuck is a man telling you to smile, right? How is that sexist? But you can use the word mansplaining as if that's not sexist. I don't understand it. You realize more homicides are committed on men, more suicides are committed by men, more men are raped if you include prisons. Where's the feminists about this? In fact, why aren't the feminists in Saudi Arabia, where people's genitals are getting mutilated on a daily basis, where gays are being pushed off fucking buildings? Where is the feminists when it comes to these third world countries that actually need feminism? What the hell is wrong with you people? But while these I just went totally southern right there. Oh my gosh. But while these well-meaning reasons for correcting me feel true, it's also true that you can act on subconscious, implicit biases, leading you to dismiss what I have to say because I'm black. We're not dismissing what you say because you're black. We're dismissing what you say because you're an idiot. If you don't believe white-splaining is wrong, then you're missing how the motivation... No, I don't believe white-splaining is a thing. Shut up. You're missing how the motivation behind white-splaining is influenced by white supremacy. So let's unpack these most common reasons why white-splaining happens. You think I've got a fact wrong. No, I know you got your facts wrong. Okay? You want to talk about racism. Black people commit 50% of the murder, even though they're only 12 to 13% of the population. Yeah. So I think your facts are wrong about most things. Like whenever you try to say that people are white-splaining. It's not a fact. That's your opinion. It's a poorly fucking based opinion because you are taking things that aren't racist at all or aren't sexist at all, like telling people to smile more. You know, if somebody tells me to smile because they want me to cheer up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to smile. I'm not like, how dare you, you fucking misogynistic pig. What the actual fuck, man? So whenever people say you've got a fact wrong, back it up. If you can't back it up, you've probably got your fact wrong. End of story. Number 2, you think my feelings are wrong. Oh, your feelings are wrong. You are being oversensitive. Trust me, you are being oversensitive. All right? I would hate to be a Japanese person in America during World War II. I would hate to be an Irish person in America during the Irish immigration, because Irish were actually slaves at one point. Okay, you don't see me bitching because I'm part Irish that my people were slaves at one point. You don't see it. The Jews were slaves longer than anybody. They were slaves before it was cool. You don't see them complaining and acting like a fucking victim, like you are right here. You use being a black as a tool to be a fucking dick. That's what you use being black as, a tool to be a complete and utter dick. You never have any kind of facts to back anything up. And if you did, please bring them here. After I've dealt with microaggressions on a daily basis for so long, it's just cruel to expect me to minimize my feelings about racism. Microaggressions? Are you fucking serious right now? For those of you who don't know what a microaggression is, I could look at you normally, and you could think I was giving you a mean face. That would be considered a microaggression. That's how stupid this fucker is. Yeah, sorry about all the language. Maybe you don't like it, you can click off. You're concerned about my approach. I think what you mean is, no, I'm not concerned about your approach. I'm concerned about what you're actually trying to get across as a message. It's a lie. It's bullcrap. So white-splainers are supposedly full of concern when they say I'd be better off or better advocate for racial justice if I just said or did things different. Yeah, if you advocated for racial equality instead of, oh, well, white people are wrong, maybe people would actually listen to you. For instance, have you ever felt the need to point out that a person of color was generalizing white people when they talked about racism? No, I haven't. If somebody posts a video of some hick shooting a gun at a car and it blows their leg off, and somebody goes, man, these white people. Yeah, it's mostly white people that do that stuff. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you about that. And I'm not going to tell you stop generalizing because I know you don't mean all white people. It's like whenever someone says something about Islam, but not all Muslims. We fucking know not all Muslims. That doesn't make any sense. Stop telling people about generalizing. We fucking know. Nothing is all, okay? If I say white people talk over me, you might jump in with not all white people. More people would listen to you if you didn't generalize. That's true. If you didn't generalize, more people would listen to you. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you, hey, don't generalize when you say white people talk over me. They're white. They talk over you. You know why they're talking over you? Because you're a fucking idiot. And sure, I could amend my statement to some white people talk over me, but not all of them. I know white people don't talk over me at all. I'm sure the ones who do don't realize it when they're doing it, and they don't mean to be racist. Yep, that's probably inherently true. They probably don't mean to be racist. They probably just know what you're going to say because they've heard it before from your gender studies fucking professor, and you have no actual opinion of your own. You've got it from someone else. You think you or someone else is being falsely accused. Yeah, a lot of times people are falsely accused. Like, let's say with feminism, a lot of people are accused of rape who didn't rape anybody, and their lives are ruined for the rest of their days. A lot of times they're accused of being racist or a white supremacist, and they then have to prove that they're not racist, and you've ruined their life for a long time or the rest of their days, but depending on how famous they are already. If they're famous and you call them racist, you've pretty much ruined their life because they either have to prove it or not. And how the hell is someone supposed to prove something that would be in their mind anyway that you are just assuming because you're a freaking asshole? Okay. Number 5, you heard another person of color say something different. Yeah, I hear people of color say things different all the time. Like, when Ben Carson says something about black people shouldn't act like victims, and you call him an Uncle Tom or a coconut or any of the things you call Larry Elder, a libertarian who's smart and realizes that the reason you guys are having so much difficulty is because of your out of wedlock birth. Now, I'm not a hypocrite. I had a kid who was out of wedlock birth. Doesn't mean I'm gonna act a victim if I'm poor the rest of my life. I'm not gonna play like a victim and act like I didn't do anything to deserve it. I had sex out of wedlock. I had a baby. I took responsibility instead of aborting a baby because I'm not a piece of shit garbage. Yep. Because he advocated for nonviolent action, many people point to church-going, suit-wearing Dr. Martin Luther King as a symbol of how black folks should behave, conveniently forgetting that King was assassinated for his beliefs in leadership. Yeah, if you believe in something strongly, you should behave that way. All right? He was assassinated because he was a big head of the movement. And you know what? He was a great man, and you don't act anything like Martin Luther King. You act nothing like him, and you actually shame his name when you sit here and talk about white people being racist out of your own personal whatever fucking bias. All right? Your own personal racism against white people. You think that just because there's a couple of Hicks out there or a couple of KKK members out there who are racist, that these white people must be racist, and that we all have to apologize to you for other people being racist. Listen, if somebody's racist, point them out and we will go condone them together. If a policy is racist, point it out and I will help get it removed. We'll start with affirmative fucking action. I'm going to keep it short today. You want me to stop talking about racism? Yeah, I want you to stop talking about, and by the way, I want you to stop talking about racism. Okay? Morgan Freeman also wants you to stop talking about racism. You want to know why? Because we were a very, very less racist nation under George W. Bush, a white president, because you want to know how much race came up during his presidency? Very little. There wasn't a big problem with cops and blacks, right? I mean, tell me about these problems that we had under George Bush. Tell me about those problems we have with black people under George Bush. It's the fact that we have a very divisive president who goes to black thugs' funerals and acts as if they were some kind of an angel. It's because we have a president who tries to say that the wage gap is real. It's because of a president that repeats rape culture myths that you idiots repeat. All right? We don't have 1 in 4. We're not the Democratic Republic of Congo, wherever rape is used as a weapon. We're not that area. Okay? We're the United States. We're a first world fucking country. It just kills me whenever these people who shame the police, they're going to need them whenever they're actually getting raped. Right now, we don't need your interrupting to remind us that white people matter too. There are white people who have been mistreated by police, and that's not okay. You don't address that ever. You're completely racially biased. But it doesn't invalidate the fact that we need to address the racial bias. What racial bias? A cop is less likely to shoot a black person than a white person for fear of being called a racist. Sorry, cops go to where the crime happens, and it happens to be in low-income neighborhoods. Who tends to live in a low-income neighborhood? Black people. You want to know why they're living in that low-income neighborhood? Because they have a single mom. You know why they have a single mom? Because of a deadbeat dad. You want to know what they could do to stop that? Get married before they have kids. End of story. It doesn't change that people believe racist stereotypes about black people as thugs. No, not all black people are thugs, you freaking dense fuck. We don't think that. We think that people who are thugs are thugs. We think Michael Brown was a thug. We think that fucking Freddie Gray was a thug. We think that people that attack cops are thugs. Get over it. Don't attack a fucking cop if you don't want to be called a thug. A white person who attacks a cop is a thug. A black person who attacks a cop is a thug. A gangbanger is a thug. I don't give a fuck about your color. I care that you're a fucking thug and that you have no respect for people who keep you safe. Maybe that's why you're getting shot. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, I'm just done. These guys are fucking idiots, man. Okay. Thank you for listening to Logical Libertarian, guys. I appreciate it so much. I'm sorry I had to keep it so short this time. I didn't have a guest. I mean, I'm not as great about just talking to myself. So if you like this video, please leave a like. Share it with your friends so they can understand why Black Lives Matter and feminism is completely fucking stupid. Peace.